Night Crew League. And boy, guys, with all the help from Commissioner, I pulled in a big fish tonight. A legend of your guys' league. A legend. You guys ain't going to get any bigger than this. I have brought in, this guy needs no introduction, but he's going to get one. He is the 2012, 2013, 2014, 2016 league champ. It is Commissioner Devin, also known as To Infinity and Beyond. Mike, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you having me.
Welcome to the league. Great to have you as our first guest of the league, as it should be, because you started this league how many years ago?
About 10, 11 years ago.
10, 11, and it's been nothing but strong and solid. And as a first guest, is there anything you want to say to your fans? You know, what's going on with your team? How do you feel about your team, and any insight on other teams you like or dislike before we get into things?
Well, I mean, there's a few teams that look pretty good right now, but it's still a long way to go. I mean, some guys are going to have injuries like we had this past Thursday. There's going to be a few guys that have guys sitting on the bench that are going to end up being stud starters for them, so we'll just see what happens.
Okay. So is anybody a threat to your team right now? Anybody a threat, or are you the threat?
Well, everybody believes they're a threat, but, you know, you got to put it up.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Mike, this is a thing he wanted to mention about is the survivor. You know, everybody gets eliminated, or one person, low score every week. The first week, it was Sam for 100 and something. I'm not sure who the second week was.
Unfortunately, my friend, it was you.
Well, you know, you can't win them all.
Right.
Can't win them all, but that's okay. And we'll just have to go with that, you know. And who's got the high score right now?
That would be beat at the moment, but 219 ain't gonna last. Somebody's gonna break that.
So 219,
that's not gonna last.
yeah, you know. But it's good enough to get a start, guys. That's the thing. What you need is a start. And if he's scoring 219 after, as it was in the first week, right? I believe 189, 80 in the second week.
You know exactly.
I don't know for sure. I know in that area, so that's an average of 190, guys. So he's putting up good numbers and leaving numbers on the bench, you know. So that's all that. And here's the thing I am so happy about. Power rankings this week is done by yours truly. So remember, this has nothing to do with me. So this is the part I like, because now you can deal with people that feel like they're too low, maybe, and get disrespected. Now, guys, get your finger out, because you know what happens here. We don't want to have to pause and rewind. And, before we got Mike, I forgot to get the Twitter page up.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get it up.
What we got?
Sysco, Night Crew, Twitter's up. Here's the power rankings, because we know you guys are going to comment on this. You guys see it? Hit pause. There you go. Okay. Right off the bat, you know, I can't argue with the top 3 or 4, but bare knuckles at number 9, Mike.
Well,
Bare knuckles.
I did it the safest possible way, the most efficient way. Everybody that has not lost is at the top. Everybody that has not won is at the bottom. And then everything else is separated by points only.
So the way I did it, peer pressure, favoritism, and stuff like that didn't work.
Well, I wouldn't call it favoritism, but anybody who's going to set up the ranking is going to put themselves at the top.
Right. Oh, we have our first tweet here. Mr. Civil, Kevin says he's getting his respect. Should be 1, not 2, but still getting his due.
Right.
Well, you know that. Can't see that.
Kev is my protege. I taught him everything he knows, so we can move on.
He's what, 2-0, and you're 2-0?
Right.
Well, you guys can talk some trash there. Well, and Reggie, he even has a messy tweet here. Much due respect, because cream always rises to the top. No pun intended there. So Reggie, what's Reggie now? Number 3.
Yes, sir.
Remember, this is honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, how can he not be 3? He's one of the only 3 people that hasn't lost.
Right.
I mean, that Justin Tucker pick just keeps bailing him out.
Oh, and we'll take one more tweet. And this one's from Sam. He says, "Aw."
That's Sam.
Here's number 12, folks. Hey, Sam, glad to have you back at work today. I know you've been sick, and I know out of all the receivers, I know you're in the top 3, okay? So, welcome back. Welcome back.
Maybe top 4.
Yeah, maybe top 4.
Kitty stepped his game up.
Not much, but hey, glad to have you back, and you looked better after that first meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that is that. Now, got this power rankings. How about we get into some matchups? And Mike's going to pick these. I was perfect last week, folks. 6-0. 6-0.
Were you?
Yeah, 6 losses, 0 wins. That's six. That's still 6-0, Mike.
I got you.
That's perfect. I just went opposite. Now I'm going to let Mike start off here. Looks like we got a Naptown Cream versus Two Affinity.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to pick against myself. That would be an absolute fool to think I'm going to lose. So that's why I chose myself. The number 1 seed against the number 7 seed. Derek's got a good team, but it ain't going to happen.
You know what? I always say never go against your own team, so I have to agree with Two Affinity, Mr. Mike. And solid squad. And now we got Balls Deep versus Indy Luck. 12 Balls Deep is 2-0. Indy Luck 12. Naptown is 1-1.
Well, this is also my game of the week. You got Kevin Sipples versus Jason Weeks. It was a tough choice, but I just thought that the depth that Kevin can play with and the depth that Weeks has got, I got to go with Kevin this week. I mean, that's all.
So these are your number 2 and number 4 rankings.
Correct.
And Kevin got his due. And, you know, with Weeks, though, you know, he felt slighted on my first power rankings. And then he got moved up last week, but then he sort of fell. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, Weeks, it's all about the weed, bro. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Right. You know, you're right. Talking about trade, did you notice all those quality receivers on his bench?
Yeah. Out of everybody in the league, there's nobody that has a receiving core as good as Jason Weeks. But the problem with that is you can't play all of it. So he needs to start looking for a trade partner, like I did today, and making a trade to trade one of them receivers away to pick him up a running back, which he desperately needs.
True. Oh, and Jason Weeks just tweeted, not only does he have quality wide receivers, he has some quality marijuana. And he'd like to trade you some green cash. Anyway, enough about that. Now let's get to the next one. We got, you know what? I like Balls Deep here too. Because, you know, Kevin says, I know he's enjoying me going against his team.
Right.
Going with you this time, bud. We'll see if that's something. But now we got Jay Weeks 21 versus the Mob Squad. And and the Mob Squad. How do you feel about this?
Well,
oh, wait a minute. Jason just tweeted here.
okay.
Michael, I guess I should have made that trade with you. You jinxed me. Fuck you, punk. Man, damn.
That's a little tough, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, this was a pretty close matchup, and I'm not going to lie, if he gets a full game out of McCaffrey, I'll probably choose Jason here. But it's kind of hard when your number 1 pick only gets you 5 points. So that's why I went with little Jason.
You know what? I like little Jason there too. Seems like I'm going with the same ones, you know what I mean? Oh, you guys know what that bell means? You know what time it is?
Sounds like to me it's beat down of the week time.
Beat down of the week, huh?
Yeah, well, seeing as how the beat down came from yours truly to my man over here by a 69-point margin. It's, one of those times where you want to go home, sit down, relax, drink a beer, maybe take a shower. And then our sponsor can kick in and help you not cry.
Well, you're right. Obviously, I picked the Grim Reaper for this show. He beat me last week and in the beatdown, and he's right, guys. I already used our sponsor, Johnson & Johnson. Why? Because it brings me no more tears. But yeah, Michael with the beatdown of the week, and if I'm correct, That's 2 in a week for you, right?
That would be correct. Even though the other accomplishment wasn't brought up, yes, you're absolutely right.
What was the other accomplishment?
The one where I beat Sam by like 80-something points.
80-something points. Didn't you? I brought that up last week. Did you? Yes.
Well,
Don't you remember me going like this?
Well, sometimes you're a little dry, Jeff, so I might have fell asleep during that promo. So
It could be. Or power rises to the top. But yeah, Mike has got 2 beatdowns of the week, guys. So if you're playing, it's, who you playing? Naptown this week?
yes, sir.
Naptown, you could be the beatdown next week. Which brings us to Dean's Nuts and keeping up with the Joneses. Mike, how do you feel about these teams?
Well, me and Josh has had a couple back and forths this week, and he seems to think that his team is about to just take over. So obviously, I'm going to go against him. So I went with Dean's Nuts because Josh is going to be playing with him this week.
Damn, dude. Now, hey guys, you know I don't get that personal, but yeah, Dean's Nuts 0-2, keeping up with the Joneses 1-1. You know what? He was all smiles last week, but I think he's going to look like he did today. You know how you look today. I ain't going to say why, but yeah, I got to go with Dean's Nuts. You know, and there we go again. Usually I'm not picking with the co-host today, or all the time, but which brings us to another Bare Knuckles versus Indy West Side. Reggie getting his respect finally.
Absolutely. I mean, Reggie, you know, he's been hounded and talked about drafting the kicker in the 10th round, which, you know, most of the time you draft one that early, you're making a mistake. But it's paid off for Reggie. So the reason why I chose Jeff to beat Reggie this week is I think that Reggie's team is, I guess the best way to put it is, overachieved a little bit, and I think he takes a step back this week. Hopefully, Reggie don't take offense to this, because Reggie really gets into his feelings sometimes. So we'll just say that I wish you luck, brother, but I think Jeff's got your number this week.
And I must agree with this intellectual genius here on this pick, folks. That's it. Let's get to Stealing Wins Ward versus Gossett's Crew. Sam, you still need to capitalize that Ward on your team. Proper noun's capital. What do you like here?
Well, I thought about this one. This one was the hardest one to pick. For some reason, I just get a gut feeling that old Sandy Boy is going to get him his first win this week. I mean, Gossett, you know, he's been doing pretty decent. I mean, he's got a solid team. I mean, you can't go wrong with Russell Wilson. But I just, for some reason, I got a gut feeling that Stem's going to get off the schneid this week.
Getting off the schneid. Sam's on 2, Gossett's on 2, but Gossett did lose that first week by 2 points, putting up 208 points.
Yeah.
Just got beat by a superior quality team.
Right. Well, only reason why I chose Sam over Gossett because I think Russell Wilson is going to have a down week this week. I'm not saying he ain't going to do, you know, decent. I'm just saying that them 70, 80 point weeks, I just don't see that this week.
So it has nothing to do with that you work with him.
Who, Sam?
Yeah, that's why you're picking him.
Well, I'm not picking Sam. Sam don't work, for one. Sam just, you know, he just deals with what Sam's got to deal with. Other than that, yeah, I mean, Gossett's my boy. I mean, he has got that 1-2 combo. I mean, Sam's just, he's got it. I just got a feeling that he's going to win this week. That's all.
Okay, well, you know what? Just to be different, I'm going to go Gossett's Crew. Because I'd look like a homer if I picked all the same teams he did, okay? I wish both, whoever wants to do it, to win. But I'm not for sure who's going to win there. I'm going Gossett's Crew, just to be a little different. Mike, you got any, I wish y'all good luck. Mike, you got any closing arguments or anything to say to your fans here?
Nah, I just everybody, I want you to have as much fun as you possibly can. Enjoy the season. I mean, I know there's going to be times where, you know, it's going to suck because, you know, one of your players get hurt or, you know, you make a wrong decision, you leave a guy on the bench, it blows up. Just remember there's always next week, and just remember always the points last until the Super Bowl's over. Week 18 does not count. Just keep that in mind. So if you, for some reason, happen to not make the playoffs, keep that in your roster because you can still win some money. In my league, I try to give as much payout as possibly can. I mean, I enjoy playing with you guys. I thank Jeff for doing this show. Just to add a little bit to it. I mean, it's kind of corny, but dude, how can you not smile?
But you are paying for it. Remember the contract we have written? Yeah.
I don't remember the stipulations, but I mean, you keep bringing that up to me, so we'll see.
And we do have one last tweet.
Oh, did we?
This is from your wife, Jackie.
Oh, okay.
She says, "Where the fuck you at? Fuck the milk, bring the tequila." And folks, you have a good night.